everyone, it is I, the Fable of Fables, your new best friend. How are you guys doing? We're looking at another video recommended by David. This time we're looking at mini-bots. Which is kind of funny because I know they're just much more smaller size transformers like Bumblebee, Cliff Jumper, Gears. I can't really think of another one off the top of my head, but yeah, let's check them out. Thank you for the recommendation, bud.
This week's episode is sponsored by Patreon supporter Kian Carlisle, who had
Also, not gonna lie, whenever I say mini-bots, it just makes me think of Metabots, but that's just me.
an unusual request. A look at the Transformers franchise's long history of recoloring Bumblebee to create new characters.
No,
I'll
fight
to
you.
go back to how it all started with the basics on mini-bots. Mini-bots is one of several names used to refer to a range of small Autobot toys released in the first few years of the original Transformers line. Simple, low-cost figures that sold for $3 each and stood around 3 inches tall.
Damn.
The story of these toys began with the Micro Robot Cars, a collection of 7 figures released by Japanese toy company Takara in their Micro Change line in...
I want to say this, $3? Damn, I wish I could have bought them back then. They're like $25 now a piece. Jesus Christ.
1983. Takara designed 3 of the 7. A Mazda Familia 1500 XG, a Volkswagen
Bumblebee.
Beetle, and a Porsche 924
Cliff
Turbo.
Jumper, I don't know what that
Each
one
was
is.
available in 3 color variants, yellow, red, and blue. And all 3 were variations on the same basic design, each one transforming the same way into super deformed vehicle modes that were designed to look like toys from Takara's line of tiny, cute model cars, Choro Q.
Oh.
The other 4 figures, a Pontiac Firebird, a truck, a 4-wheel drive pickup, and an off-road
Years.
SUV, were apparently designs acquired from the defunct American toy company Knickerbocker and had been created for their
Knickerbocker, I
canceled
think
toy
I
line,
remember those.
Mysterians. The Micro Robot Cars were imported by Hasbro and released as part of the first year of the Transformers toy line in 1984 as the Autobot Mini Cars. The Volkswagen became the cheerful spy, Bumblebee, while the Porsche became the overeager warrior, Cliff Jumper, who were each available in both red and yellow variants. Though pretty much all media and marketing would consistently depict Bumblebee as the yellow one and Cliff Jumper as red, their shared colours and identical transformations made it easy to confuse one for the other.
I don't know how.
Meanwhile, the Firebird became Wind Charger, the truck,
Wind Charger.
Huffer, the 4-wheel drive, Gears, and
Gears.
the SUV, Brawn. The
Broad.
Mazda was never officially sold as part of Transformers, but for reasons that have never definitively been explained, a small run of yellow Mazda figures was erroneously released in Cliff Jumper packaging in late 1984.
Oh yeah, that would
The
become a
toy's
different one
similarity
entirely.
to Bumblebee and Cliff Jumper led to fans naming this rare release Bumper, and 2
I'm dying. Oh yeah, we actually did a video on Bumper. Go check that one out. Go check that out, guys, if you haven't already.
2 decades later, this character would eventually be officially incorporated into the Transformers universe.
Yeah, and they even gave him a new toy this year. The only problem is they messed up the alt mode. At least according to Reddit.
Check out the basics on Bumper to learn more. In 1985, the minicar assortment was renamed the Autobot Mini Vehicles as it expanded beyond cars and trucks with the addition of 5 new toys. The Tank, Warpath, Flying Saucer Cosmos, Dune Buggy Beachcomber,
Beachcomber! I love you!
A-10 Thunderbolt Powerglide, and Hovercraft Sea
I
Spray.
love
These were some
Beachcomber.
of the first
He's my
brand
boy.
new Transformers figures that hadn't previously been released as part of a Japanese
I have a
series,
toy of him.
and it's generally thought that they were unproduced micro-change designs. One further entirely new mini-vehicle was added to the assortment in 1986. Wheelie, a Cybertronian car designed
God.
for the Transformers the movie.
My friend Platy absolutely loves Wheelie. Every time we talk about Transformers, he's like, "What about Wheelie? Have you learned about Wheelie?" It's really funny. I love him. He's great.
Also this year, all of the 1984 mini vehicles other than Bumblebee were discontinued, and the toys were retooled, recolored, and re-released as new characters. Huffer's toy was altered to create Pipes. Brawn became Outback, Gears became Swerve, Windcharger became Tailgate, and most importantly for this video, Cliffjumper became Hubcap. As a new fourth take on the Takara micro-robot car design, Hubcap was differentiated from Cliffjumper by a new head and an altered spoiler, but he was coloured yellow again, which didn't exactly help to distinguish him from the other three yellow figures that shared his basic design. Also during 1985 and 86, the original 1984 mini vehicles were licensed by various Latin American toy companies and released in their countries in an array of unique and different colours. Now there are so many of these guys I could do a whole separate video about them, but as far as this episode goes, the most notable were those released by Brazilian company Estrela, who included the Mazda in their line instead of Huffer.
Ooh.
Estrela released the minicars in 4 different colour schemes each, split across 2 waves. One wave that presented them as Autobots, and a second that rebranded them as new characters belonging to new Estrela Original factions. Bumblebee, Cliffjumper, and the Mazda became the heroic Optimus, Volks, Carrera, and Sedan, while Gears, Brawn, and Windcharger became the evil Malignus, Pickup, Jeepy, and Camaro. The mini-vehicle assortment was finally discontinued in 1987 and replaced for that year by the Throttlebots, 6 small Autobots with pullback motors.
That's pretty cool. I love those toys.
New, these toys continued the spirit of the Takara micro-robot car design, all transforming similar to the way it did into chubby little cars and trucks.
Aww.
But some of the mini vehicles would return in 1993's Generation 2, when Bumblebee, Beachcomber, Seaspray, and Hubcap
I love you,
were
Beachcomber.
with new metallic paint jobs.
You beautiful, handsome son of a butt. You deserve so much better.
Transformers has grown in the 21st century, the Minibots have remained popular characters who have frequently been revisited and reimagined for new series, leading to many new toys of them.
I have that one. Well, no, I don't have the Beachcomber one. I have a Beachcomber one. I have the Studio series. I think that one's the one where they give him his parrot, because the one I have doesn't have a gun. I would never give my boy a gun. He deserves so much better. He hates war.
Some small scale like the original figures, others at a larger size. These new figures have generally been retooled and recolored the same way the originals were. A new toy of Brawn will be used to create a new Outback, a new Huffer becomes a new Pipes, and so on. And of course, the preeminent example of this is Bumblebee and Cliffjumper, inspired by the shared design of their original toys. When new Bumblebee figures are released, they're often recolored to create new versions of Cliffjumper.
I hate it.
With Bumblebee having become one of the franchise's biggest characters, that's meant there have been a lot of Cliffjumpers.
I mean, I'm happy we get more Cliffjumpers, but I hate the reason they did it for.
Lesser-known mold mates, Hubcap and Bumper. Hubcap has received only one new modern figure in the Generation Selects line in 2020, while Bumper has still never had an official Transformers toy. Though a Bumblebee based on Bumper's Mazda form was released in the buzzworthy Bumblebee line in 2021. But building on the precedent established by these 4 classic toys and characters, the story of this shared design doesn't end here. In 2001, the original Bumblebee and Cliffjumper toys were reissued as keychains. Then, in 2002, official convention BotCon offered recolors of these keychains as new characters. Bumblebee in blue as alien culture expert Glyph, and Cliffjumper in green as her devoted bodyguard Tapout. This pair have reappeared in a handful of subsequent
Ooh.
stories, including a 2020 Valentine's Day special from IDW Publishing, but to date, no further toys of them have been produced.
The fact that they have a really cute comic is all that matters to me, because that is nice.
In 2004, Takara reissued a set of mini-vehicle toys that included a retooled Bumblebee with a new head based on his appearance in the original Transformers cartoon. Later in the year, online retailer eHobby offered a recolored version of the set that reimagined the Minibots as characters from Transformers' rival franchise, GoBots. Bumblebee, recolored in white, became the evil renegade, Bugbite.
Oh god, I remember
Bugbite
watching
has become
Bugbite.
one of the more notable new...
Guys, I have actually reacted to Bugbite with Met and Mech. If you guys want to check that out, check out the thing.
recurring Bumblebee recolors, with several new toys and media appearances in the years since his introduction, including roles in the War for Cybertron and Cyberverse cartoons. The eHobby set would also inspire stories from the Transformers Collectors Club to introduce several more GoBot-themed mini-vehicle characters, including Autobot Medic Rescue, a white recolor of Hubcap based on an unreleased
Rescue is actually kind of a really silly way to name him, but I like it.
For the original Hubcap toy. And then there's the series that inspired Kian's request for this episode, Transformers Animated. This cartoon featured a huge array of bots sharing Bumblebee's design,
I hate it.
all over Transformers history, including those already established as sharing his body type, like Cliffjumper, Hubcap, Bumper, Glyph, Tapout, and even the Estrella recolors Volks, Carrera, and Sedan. Pre-existing characters who were redesigned to be Bumblebee retools for this series,
Oh my
like
god.
First Aid, Siren, and the Throttlebots Chase.
I kind of like how there's literally an Autobot called First Aid. I don't know. I think that's kind of cool and a little silly, but I love it.
Freeway and Searchlight, and even brand new characters like Furao, whose head design was based directly on the original Bumblebee toy. The most significant of all of them, though, was Wasp, Bumblebee's arrogant rival from his boot camp days, who once exploited their physical similarity to impersonate Bee, and was later mutated into the Predacon Waspinator.
Waspinator!
Of these many bots, only Cliffjumper got an animated toy. A Wasp figure was planned, but never released due to the series cancellation.
Oh dear.
That said, Animated's idea of Chase as a Bumblebee recolor would be brought to life in toy form in another series,
I hate it.
2016's Titans Return. Even the live-action film series has gotten in on the fun. 2011's Dark of the Moon had Decepticon Laserbeak disguise himself by shape-shifting into a pink Bumblebee, an idea that's been immortalized in toy form more than once.
Stop making versions of Bumblebee, guys, please. We have enough Bumblebee as is. We don't need clones upon clones of him, Jesus Christ.
2014's Age of Extinction introduced Bumblebee's evil twin, Stinger. Not literally a recolor of Bumblebee, but a man-made robot designed to look like an improved, upgraded version of him.
Oh my lord, I hate this.
Now these are just the big examples. There are other one-off instances of Bumblebee toys being used as a basis for new versions of pre-existing characters like Nightbeat and Hotshot. But those are more random cases that haven't become recurring patterns and don't have any story behind them. Yet. You never know when any of them might be revisited and made into a regular part of the ever-growing hive of Bee recolors. Because as long as he continues to be the poster boy of the entire franchise, the Transformers universe will no doubt be swarming with recolors of Bumblebee.
It's funny you say that. It's... Excuse me. Excuse me, Jesus. I was sneezing. It's funny that it says that because in the Skybound comics, which I talked about a lot because I want you all to frickin' read them because they're amazing, frickin' Bumblebee is dead. And Cliffjumper took over. I'm literally sad he's dead, but I'm kind of happy Cliffjumper at least gets some shot in actually being a character.
And those are the basics on Bumblebee recolors. Thanks
Yes.
to Kian for sponsoring this.
Thank you everyone. Thank you everyone for coming. Hope you all enjoyed. If you like this kind of content, please do like, comment, and subscribe. It'll help me a lot. Talk to me about your random likes and dislikes. How do you feel about the fact that that just about every mini bot is literally a clone of Bumblebee, which is really stupid in my opinion, but that's just me. Anyway, yes, make sure to check out Chris McFreely. Give him a shout out, everything. Feel free to donate to my Ko-Fi. I could really use all the help I can get, guys. I love you. Bye.